editions of the day. Every day from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. My name is Okumringa Christine. Before we dive into any of the stories this evening, let's have a look at what's happening in the headlines tonight.
In the headlines tonight, Panyumu flood victims cry out for help. Market vendors in Moyo Main Market sensitized on Grow project. And Honorable Nabanja warns ministers about failure to implement key government priorities. This and more in the NILE News Bulletin.
A warm welcome, viewers, to the Nowcast on your West Nile Television. Let's dive straight into the stories that are made headlines tonight. Following the extreme flooding along the shores of Lake Albert, hundreds of people have been displaced after their houses, gardens, among other things, were submerged in water, causing havoc to the affected victims in Panyumu Sub-County, Pakwach District. Alfred Jawok reports.
Following the extreme flooding along the shore of Lake Albert, hundreds of people have been displaced after their houses, gardens, among others, were submerged, and the unfortunate event is causing havoc to the affected victims. What used to be roads to a number of homesteads in Pakwach district are currently covered by floods following the rise in the Lake Albert water level. The unfortunate event have displaced many villages, and the victims are now seeking places to take refuge. Grace Oyenbot, 56 years, one of the victims whose 3 houses were submerged by the floods, urges the government to come for their help.
Para pongupi wabe kwayo government magomi uakon anka woni ati DP umitrenya makanwang sente yoriminwangira sente ka woni tie tek abe shedo ni kapanga otapanga mayore mipangira otke sende peka woni.
Geoffrey Okirot, a fishmonger at Panyumur Market, said the floods have caused damage to the newly built fish stalls.
Watika neno kumpong papi umbe pong iwa oro mokad masha pibi no pong dong duachu picha ipong ube do pasena para ngwen vidaka shell sheng juma beneno lembe ka keni gibino kumlegi washi ya makutano shur kama bor bien pimbe do gwen do be do pasen apara bo shell vidaka shell nyutunya gemero pasen areo nyuka pasera para be vidaka shell mapi bino koro duwane no pigire kitebe bino koro angebe mondu ebe golo urtere ebe bino ma touche masago.
However, Honorable Peter Opinto, Chapaso Local Council 3 Panyumutan Council, equally said many residents have been affected by the floods. Honorable Opinto further said the floods have affected revenue collections as many lending sites have been neglected due to flooding of the areas.
The floods have really invaded us and they destroyed our crops. We are doing very badly. Actually, the flood of this time is worse than the previous one because the distance it traveled is now beyond the previous one. Where we are standing, the flood has moved from the water bank over 300 meters away, and now all our houses are now in the water.
This is the second time people living along the shore of Lake Albert have been affected by the floods, leaving many questions unanswered. Alfred Jawok, West Nile TV, Nilecast.
Moving on to Moyo District, during a sensitization meeting with the market vendors at Moyo Main Market on Wednesday, the 11th of September 2024, the market vendors in Moyo Main Market have been urged to embrace financial discipline as they await to take part in the Grow project. Okumu Dominic reports.
The sensitization meeting comes as a result of the Vice President Jessica Lupo launching the dissemination of the funds meant for the Grow project last week, which is intended to support and boost the business of women across the country so as to empower the women in business economically. Honorable Letaro Gladys, the female councillor representing Central Ward in Moyo Town Council who organized the meeting with the market vendors, said she felt there is need for her to open the eyes of the market vendors on the project before it's channeled down to the grassroots, so that they will be in position to know what is required of them to be able to benefit from the project, saying what is key is the aspect of financial discipline and having a business plan as they prepare to acquire the loan, so that they will be able to put it into the right use.
Before the implementation is fully in the grassroots, I felt as a leader, my community should be sensitized, and my priority community of business is here in the town. What is necessary is financial discipline for all of them, because this is a loan which they have to fund back. Secondly, we are trying to prepare them on how to come up with proper business ideas in order to suit the target of this loan. Thirdly, we want to sensitize them to start using banks. Most of our vendors, they don't have access to these banks. You find them going to the bank is a challenge because they are not being sensitized.
Mr. Moko Charles Sade, the town agent Central Ward Moyo Town Council, gives more details on the GROW project and how one can be able to acquire the loan, saying those without active bank accounts will not be able to acquire the loans meant to boost their businesses.
Women GROW project is a fund that the government of Uganda has partnered with the World Bank to support small enterprise growth in a business for women. And this project is aiming at the women specifically who are engaged in gainful activities like business. And the minimum amount of money they give out for an individual is 4 million and the maximum is 200 million. And this loan is got through a bank. For our case here, we have the bank that gives this money to the respective vendors, Stampede Bank, Centenary Bank, but also they can also be, this money can also be sent to circles when there is a clear mutual understanding.
Bako Roslyn, a market vendor in Moyo Main Market, said she has learned of the project, which is very good, and thanked the government for empowering the citizens with different projects, but said many government programs in the past didn't do well because the people who benefited from it didn't prepare well. So now she requests the women to have better plans and budgets before they go for the money, so as to avoid problems such as abandoning their families in the future after failing to pay back the loans.
It is good that the government is supporting us via money. There was a time they brought for us here, PDMO, Emioga, Dr. Deep, those are all projects of government. But I'm requesting to avoid problems whereby you pick this in money and then you decide to run away because you fail to pay it. Many projects has failed because of not of proper management. So I'm appealing to my fellow women, when you are picking this money, make sure you have sat down and budget it to avoid for you to leave your children and run away. Because some of these people, majority women who are in the market, they are single mothers.
Mori Kutiza, another market vendor, lauded the leaders for coming to sensitize them about the GROW project, saying they will embrace the project and do what it takes to benefit from the program, because she personally never benefited from any of the past government programs, and therefore urged her fellow vendors not to scare the people, saying people started picking loans a long time ago and they will always continue picking loans to boost their businesses. The GROW project is an initiative of the government of Uganda with funding from the World Bank, which is aimed at supporting women in business, especially women living in refugee hosting districts across the country, so as to empower them economically. The support comes in form of a loan and can be accessed through banks and financial institutions, with the lowest loan being 4 million and the highest being 200 million shillings. The project was officially launched last weekend by the Vice President Jessica Lupo, and it's expected to be rolled out to the rest of the refugee hosting districts within the shortest time possible. Dominic Anthony Okumu, West Nile TV, Nilecast.
Moving on with our stories this evening, at the National Budget Conference for the financial year 2025-2026, Prime Minister of Uganda, Robina Nabanja, issued a stern warning to the line ministers and government accounting officers, emphasizing their responsibility in ensuring full implementation of Uganda's top priorities. Ochakipis reports.
During the National Budget Conference for financial year 2025-2026, Prime Minister Right Honorable Robina Nabanja has issued a stern warning to line ministers and government accounting officers, emphasizing their responsibility in ensuring full implementations of Uganda's top priorities. Failure to meet these targets, she stressed, would result in accountability measures. During her keynote address, Right Honorable Robina Nabanja underscored the government's unwavering commitment to growing the economy and advancing human capital development through a multi-pronged approach. She highlighted the importance of aligning efforts with the National Development Plan number 4, the 10-fold growth strategy, and the National Resistance Movement NRM manifesto, all aimed at fostering sustainable growth in Uganda. The Prime Minister was adamant that line ministers and their teams must execute these initiatives effectively, and the line ministers and their accounting officers should be able to supervise and implement wealth creation initiatives such as the Parish Development Model, PDM, and EMYOGA. She added that they must also ensure the successful delivery of the NRA manifesto to improve human capital development and strengthen the economic status of people. Right Honorable Nabanja called for teamwork and collaboration among all stakeholders, noting that the development of Uganda's economy requires collective action and encourage full participation from all sectors to ensure success of government strategies and projects. Peace Ushoki, West Nile Television, Nilecast.
And that marks the end of the Nowcast on West Nile Television. Thank you.